Great, AP and Honors Chem. This lesson is a very quick lesson to do a brief review of fraction math. So you should know how to multiply fractions. And very simply, you multiply the numerator and the denominator straight across. So the top and the bottom straight across. So 2 times 4 over 3 times 5, that gives you 8 over 15. And that's how you multiply. Some students get this confused with proportions. You do not cross multiply fractions when you multiply. You multiply straight across top and bottom. The one on the bottom, if possible, simplify fractions before multiplying. So 3 goes into 3 one time, goes into 9 3 times. So we can make that cancellation. And then 4 goes into 4 one time and goes into 8 2 times. So we can go ahead and make that. Now you multiply straight across top and bottom. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6, and you get 1 over 6. So multiplying a fraction and integer. So convert the integer into a fraction by placing a 1 in the denominator. So if we have 2/3 times 4, you can simply make 4 into a fraction by calling it 4 over 1. So now it's 2 times 4 over 3 times 1, and that's 8 over 3. Convert an improper fraction to a mixed fraction. This is not something you'll have to do in this class. Just thought I'd throw it out at you. 8/3 is called an improper fraction because the number in the numerator on top is bigger than the number on the bottom. So an improper fraction has a numerator larger than the denominator. So here's an improper fraction. So the way you convert it into a mixed fraction, which means it has an integer part and a fraction part, you do a simple division. 3 divided into 5 goes 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3, so you subtract that. 5 minus 3 is 2. So the 5, by the way, is called the dividend. The 3 on the outside of the bracket is called the divisor, and the 2 is called the remainder. So you simply take the 1 at the top, and then you put the remainder over the divisor, 2 over 3. And that's how you convert that into a mixed fraction. You want to go in the other direction, so the remainder goes over the divisor. Okay. And if you want to go in the other direction, we're going to take that number, 1 2/3. You multiply the denominator by the whole number in front. Then you add the number on the top, the numerator of that fraction, and then you place them all over the 3. So it looks like this: 3 times 1 plus 2 over 3. So that the numerator becomes 5 and the denominator remains at 3. Division of fractions. So most importantly for our purposes, units of measure can be canceled across multiplication. So we're learning with numbers, but you're going to see in the next few lessons why we're really learning this. It has to do with units of measure and how we can cancel units of measure. And we'll get into that in more detail in the future. So you have 2 fractions here. So the way you do it, some of you learned various mnemonic phrases for this, but you take the bottom and you flip it. So it's 2/5 on the top, that remains the same. The bottom goes from 4/7 to 7/4, and then you multiply straight across. You get 14 over 20. You could have canceled the 2 and the 4, by the way. And if you reduce 14 over 20, you get 7 over 10. For integers, place a 1 under the integer to create a fraction, then flip the bottom and multiply. So here's an example. The bottom is a whole number. The top is a fraction. So we're going to call it 2/3 over 4 over 1. We put a 1 down there on the bottom. Now we flip the bottom and we multiply. 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 4 is 12, and then you can reduce 2/12 to 1/6. If the whole number's on the top, it's the same principle. You put a 1 underneath the 6, so 6 over 1 over 2/5. You flip the bottom, so 6 times 5 is 30, 1 times 2 is 2, gives you 30 over 2, gives you 15. Okay, so again, we're rarely going to use fractions with numbers, but with units of measure, which we're going to introduce in the next few lessons, we are, and you're going to see how learning how to cancel units of measure becomes very important in chemistry.